Okay, here we shall be looking at place value lecture 4. This lecture 4 will be considering decimal place values. That means place values that involve decimal numbers. Okay, let's begin. In a decimal number, say 85493.7261 for instance. Numbers to the left of the decimal point represent a whole number. That means all the digits to the left of the decimal point represent a whole number, while the digits to the right of the decimal point represent the decimal parts. This is what we mean. So it means that anytime you have a number, a decimal number, then the numbers to the left of that decimal point is usually called the whole number, while the numbers to the right of the decimal point is usually called the decimal parts. Okay, now let's look at how we can bring out the place value system of a decimal number. Now, let's consider the Hindu-Arabic numerals again, from the biggest to the smallest. But this time around, we shall be including the negative numbers. So this is what we mean. Okay, 9876543210. Then we now enter into the negative side. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9. This is the Hindu-Arabic numerals, including the negative numbers. Now, we can see that immediately after the 0, we have the negative digits. So, now immediately after 0, counting from the left to the right, we have another column as shown below. Now, in the first lecture, we were working with the positive Arabic numerals. But in determining the place value of decimal numbers, we shall be using the negative Arabic numerals. So immediately after the 0, counting from the left to the right, we have another column again as shown below. This is the column. So from the left to the right, you can see that -1 is first column, -2 is second column, -3 is third column, -4 is fourth column, -5 is fifth column, till -9, which is the ninth column. Now, each column too is 10 raised to the power of the digits in that column, as we explained in lecture 1. Each column is 10 raised to the power of the digits in that column. Hence, for the first column, it represents 10 raised to the power of -1. Because in the first column, the digits there is -1. So 10 raised to the power of -1 is equals to 1/10 raised to the power of 1, according to the rule of indices. So I want you to understand this. 10 raised to the power of -1. So we call for the reciprocal. That -1, the one there becomes the numerator all over. We now have 10 raised to the power of 1. Sorry, the minus there represent the numerator, and we now have 10 raised to the power of 1 left. Of course, 1/10 raised to the power of 1 is equals to 1/10. So that means the first column represents 1/10, and this is usually called the tenth, denoted by capital T and then small th. The second column represents, of course, the digit in the second column is what? -2. So the second column represents 10 raised to the power of -2. And 10 raised to the power of -2 is equals to 1/10 raised to the power of 2. Remember, we said like this 10 raised to the power of -2, the minus there stands for 1/. Then the 10 raised to the power of 2 will now bring it down. That is what we call law of reciprocal. So of course, 1/10 raised to the power of 2 is equals to 1/100, because 10 raised to the power of 2 is 100. So it means that the second column represents 1/100, and this is called hundredth, denoted by capital HTH. I hope you understand this. Okay, let's look at the third column. The third column represents 10 raised to the power of -3. This is because -3 is where? In the third column. And that means 10 raised to the power of minus 3 is equals to 1 over 10 raised to the power of 3. Because the minus there stands for 1 over, and then we now bring down our 10 raised to the power of 3. And of course, that gives us 1 over 1000, because 10 raised to the power of 3 is equals to 1000. So this is called thousandth, denoted by capital TH and then the small th. Okay, the fourth column represents 10 raised to the power of minus 4. And that gives us what? 1 over 10 raised to the power of 4. And 1 over 10 raised to the power of 4 is equals to 1 over 10,000. And this is always called 10,000th, denoted by capital T, capital T, capital H, and then the small th. The fifth column represents 10 raised to the power of minus 5. And of course, 10 raised to the power of minus 5 gives us 1 over 10 raised to the power of 5. And that is equals to what? 1 over 100,000. This is usually called 100,000th, denoted by capital H, T, H, and then the small th, and so on. So the decimal place value diagram is shown below. So this is how it is. Immediately after the decimal point, we have 10th, 100th, 1000th, 10,000th, 100,000th, millionth, and so on. Okay, let's just give you something to go and play with, because we've come to the end of this particular lecture. The first question says, from our place value diagram, what is the sixth column after the decimal point called? No, I've given you up to the fifth column. So what is the sixth column called? Then what is the seventh column after the decimal point called? Please comment your answer in the comment space below so that we can actually check it out for you. So remember to click on the notification bell for daily updates if you have not done that. Okay, in our next lectures we shall be looking at place value lecture 5. In lecture 5 we'll be considering examples involving decimal place values. Thank you very much.